that is easy to eat, easy to assemble, and is super tasty too. So I'm Jessica. This is my kitchen. Nothing fancy, but the good food happens here. So I'm glad you can join in. If you're watching the replay, be sure to shout out. If you're jumping in live, hello, welcome. Be sure to chat. My chat isn't always working, so I apologize if I don't see everything, but I'm going to try to set it so that I can see stuff and go from there. But anyway, we're going to be making a French toast board. This is easy. So French toast, usually what you're doing is you're having a pan, you're filling it up, you're having to repeat. It's one of those things where the cook is just going to be in the kitchen the whole time and not sitting down and enjoying eating unless you keep it warm in the oven, which you can totally do. But let's just say for fun, you don't want to have to cook it all, stand there, keep popping them in the oven, and then take out the whole thing at the end. We're going to do this in a sheet pan, and it's going to make it so much easier. You don't have to worry about all the slop. It's less mess, less fuss. It's all done, super easy. You're gonna have perfect French toast, and we're gonna make some really tasty toppings that go on this board too. So when you have people staying at your house, if you have gatherings that are going on, so I know baby showers and wedding showers and all those kinds of things, and you want something cute and fun to serve for brunch, well, this is it, okay? And this is gonna be very simple and it'll look very cute, but not take a lot of hassle. I am not always the prettiest food maker. Some people really enjoy making things look beautiful, and I want them to look nice, but I also don't want to spend a lot of time. So if that's where you're at, this is perfect for you, okay? What we're going to start with is I have my sheet pan here, and we need to make sure that it is, ooh, I got some crunchy thing on it. I don't even know what that is. We're going to make sure it's well oiled, because if you do not, these are not going to come out of your pan very easily. And my oven is preheating right now to 425. I have one rack all the way at the bottom, and I have one rack about 5 inches for my broiler, because we're going to do a little of both. So I'm just going to spread this oil and make sure I have it well coated. You can do a nonstick spray here, but there's always the chance that you miss something. And I feel like when you are doing it this way, you're getting it well coated, and so you're not going to have to mess with having things get super sticky, making a giant mess. All right, so I'm spreading this around, making sure we have a nice coat on everything, and we should be about good to go. I want to say it was maybe a tablespoon that you needed in here. This is, so actually this one isn't quite a half sheet size, but a half sheet pan is what you're going to want for this recipe. So got this in here. We're going to go ahead and mix up our custard, because this is the part that gets super messy, right? So here's what I have. I have 3 eggs that I already cracked in here. I'm going to turn my pan, my thing, so you can see. My oven is preheated. All right, we're good to go. So we have the 3 eggs here. What I'm going to add is, this is 2 teaspoons of brown sugar. I have a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I already measured it all out, so I'm going to plop that in here. And I'm also going to add a tablespoon of vanilla. Now this vanilla is pretty strong, so I actually am probably not going to add the entire tablespoon. But it's a nice amount, and we'll be using this vanilla later on for what we're making to go on our board. So now that this is in here, I'm going to go ahead and whisk away. My chickens were very excited to give me some eggs today so that we could have this recipe. I actually got hit hard with my eggs this weekend. I had my mother-in-law needed eggs, my sister needed a few eggs, so our stash got depleted, but that's okay. That's the fun of having your own chickens. So they're out in the backyard. Maybe if you look really closely out my dirty window, you might be able to see my chickens walking around back there. All right, I'm going to keep whisking this until everything's well incorporated. And what I want is that sugar to kind of dissolve so it's not all crunchy and weird, okay? So whisking away. And while I'm whisking, the thing I have next to me that we're going to add in next is some melted butter. This is 2 tablespoons of melted butter. It's kind of cooled. And I'm going to go ahead and just start pouring this in while I'm whisking now that sugar is pretty well done. It helps it to have a nice, smooth, tasty butter bite in every one of these, so that you don't have like too much butter in one part, not enough custard in another part. So that's how we're doing that. And if your butter is still a little warm, then you're not making a weird curdled egg too if you do it slowly like that. Okay. Next, we're going to go ahead and do a cup of milk here. Get this in. Whisk it in. We want everything to be well mixed here. So just keep going. Mix in everything. And now that that's done, we are going to go ahead and transfer this into this pan. So I'll turn it back here. Easy peasy so far, right? All right. My sink is like right there if you're not noticing what I'm doing. I don't have little sous chefs running around, so that's how this works, right? I'm going to go ahead and angle this a little bit. Hopefully that my head isn't cut off, but you can still see a little bit. And I'm going to get my bread ready. So sometimes you're going to see Texas toast. You're going to see like brioche. You're going to think thicker pieces of bread for a French toast. But in this case, we actually want it to just be like a nice sandwich loaf. So what I did get, and this is what we had that was kind of, you want a nice quality white bread is what we're looking for. Not a thick slice. So this is just a cottage style loaf that I picked up from the store. And we want to have 8 slices. 3, 4. This is not stale bread. We are using fresh bread here, okay? I have 8 slices. And what I'm going to do is just start laying out my bread. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And by the time I get all of this bread placed, it's already time to go ahead and flip it so that it soaks in on the other side too. And I'm starting from where I started so that none of them are going to be too soggy and none of them are going to be under soggy. They will be the perfect amount of soggy for your French toast bake. Now, once I have this done, we are going to go immediately into that oven that is preheated to 425. And we are going to go on the bottom rack and pop it right in. It'll finish soaking it up as it cooks. So, put that in the bottom. And I am setting my timer to do, let's see, about 10 to 15 minutes. I could have let that soak in just a little bit more. It's going to finish soaking while I'm going. I probably would have had less of a mess if I would have waited just a tiny bit longer, but that's okay. We'll see what happens. This is real life cooking. We'll decide what would have been better. Oh, it's actually already soaked up in there anyway. It doesn't matter. We're good. Okay. While this is going, we are going to make, like, do you ever go to IHOP? I actually have never been there, but I always see the pictures of this giant French toast stack with like this fancy looking whipped cream cheesy stuff in the middle, and you have like it's all filled and looks so good and creamy and yummy. We're actually going to kind of try to make something like that at home. So what I have is we're going to make a whipped cream cheese, or cream cheese whipped cream. Probably cream cheese whipped cream, whichever order you say it in. It's a whipped cream that has cream cheese, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to actually start with making our whipped cream first. So what I have is I have a cup of heavy whipping cream. I already measured it, grabbed it out of my fridge. You want that to be nice and cold, so I just grabbed my cup out here. Pour it in. And all I'm going to do, I'm not even going to add anything to this because the rest of it's going to go into the cream cheese. Pop this in. Go to whip. This is the Pampered Chef Deluxe Stand Mixer. If you didn't know, I'm a Pampered Chef consultant, and so you'll see a lot of the stuff in my own kitchen. I'm not going to call out everything, but if you have questions about what some of the stuff is, go ahead and comment, shout out, ask, whatever you need to do, and I'm happy to help you. You can also go, like when you subscribe to my page, When you go there, you're going to see the link to my website, and if you click there, you'll go right to my Pampered Chef site, and you can shop any of these things. Like that really cool, the basting brush is silicone, so you don't get little bristles. And I don't like the bristle stuff, so I love it as silicone because you can pop it in the dishwasher and comes super cool. It's going to be a little noisy, but what we're looking for is we are looking for nice stiff peaks, like an actual whipped cream, so it's going to get tall and fluffy. Sometimes you add a stabilizer, so like a cornstarch or cream of tartar, and that helps it to not like deflate again. But because we're going to be mixing this in with the cream cheese mix, then we don't really have to worry about that part so much. I forgot to grab one bowl here, so don't mind my dirty cupboard. There's things all over. This is my food and things I grab once a year. So I have a bowl, and what we're going to do once this whipped cream is done is do this, and then we're going to actually blend up our cream cheese so it's nice and whipped and ready to go. So add that on the back up here. What we're going to be adding into our cream cheese, we're actually going to do half of a softened block. This is one of those places it's good to go full fat. So you're going to enjoy that. It's going to be nice and creamy and luscious. If you are looking to cut a few calories, if you don't want quite as much fat, don't go anything less than like the 1%. I don't even know how to pronounce it. The one that starts with an N, capital, or I'm not a very good Is it Belgian? Maybe French. It has some wacky accents and I don't know how to pronounce it. Maybe it's German. I don't even know. That's terrible. I sound like such a weird person. I know Norwegian stuff. It's coming along. It's getting thicker. It's starting to the point where we got some nice whips. I'm going to actually add another 30 seconds onto it just in case. Things we're going to add to our half of a block of cream cheese. We're going to add some more vanilla into this and powdered sugar. In my case, I'm actually using allulose. It's a half a cup of powdered sugar if you like it sweeter. If you don't want it quite as sweet, you can do a quarter cup, and then it'll have a little bit of sweet, but not overly sweet. So if you want to pair that then with your syrup or whatever you're doing. In my case, I did a half a cup of allulose because allulose doesn't taste quite as sweet, but it also doesn't spike your blood sugar. So kind of nice. I'm going to do it that way. You do what works for you, okay? We are about to a soft peak right now. It kind of looks like a meringue. So kind of, but not like the heavy kind of meringue. So we're in there. And I'm going to push this in. Add another 30 seconds to the cycle. Get it nice and fluffy. If I had more heavy whipping cream in there, it would probably whip up a little quicker. It's hard sometimes when you have a big mixer in a smaller quantity. Another thing that works well if you use even smaller quantities than this, because you can have it, you can make a single serve, whatever you need to do, is using the cream maker from Pampered Chef, and it plunges. That would be really handy too. But I wouldn't need to do two times those, so I didn't want to do that. Oh, this is looking about perfect. I'll show you what this looks like. Almost done. Clean up while I go, right? I'll load up the dishwasher as soon as we're done, so. Alright, it beeps. And you can see, here's my whip. It's nice and firm. When I move it, those peaks stay, they don't fall over. That's what they mean by a stiff peak. If you had it and you poke it and you pull away, and the top of it kind of folds over a little bit, that's a soft peak. And that's not what we want here. We want it to be nice and firm, because it's going to lose some of that as we go ahead and incorporate in that cream cheese mixture. So, do this, pop this back on, and I'm going to use my scraper and incorporate this back in here later on. It's just in the reserves right now. And this does not need to be perfectly cleaned out because we're going to mix it all back together anyway. But this is why I started with whipping the whipped cream part first, because then I don't have to worry about cleaning it and I'm not going to have any issues with it that way. So this is the order you want to do it. All right, so I'm going to add in my half a block of softened cream cheese. I think I am at least. There we go. Okay. Plop that in. I missed some of my block. All right. We're getting there. All right, half a block. We are going to add in our vanilla. This calls for a teaspoon. You could do lemon juice here too, and that would be a little different flavor profile, but very yummy. And I'm going to add in that powdered sugar or allulose. And I'm going to whip this up too. Whoop. There's all these different settings. So there's whip, there's cream, like if you're going to cream your butter and your sugar together. It makes for like the best, fluffiest chocolate chip cookies. Like the setting on it is perfect. So mix, beat, and then they have a knead setting too. So there's, I do bread, and I really like that setting as well. It works great. You can do just a regular old custom and control it yourself too. All right, while this is going, we are almost ready to be on board with our French toast. So what I'm going to do as soon as this beeps, and I'm actually going to keep that quick, we'll pull it out. Whoa, I got some fog here. I want to peek and make sure that the bottoms look like they're nice and done, like a nice golden brown, before I go ahead and do the next step, which is broiling. So, as soon as this beeps, we're going to take a peek. I'm going to grab my spatula here. This is one that has a really thin beveled edge so that I can get underneath and not destroy this. Okay. Oh. If you're watching and I can't see that you're here, just go ahead and say hi. Like I said, my comments aren't working the best on I don't know what it is. I tried updating my phone, so I will try to come back if I can at all see it. And if you are an avid YouTube watcher and you know what's going on and what I need to do, please tell me. Okay? I appreciate it. There's only so much Googling that helps me, right? He's going to do it just a second. So. Alright, go ahead and grab this. You can see they're not browned on the top, obviously, but where it was making a circuit contact here, slide underneath and see what we got here. It's still kind of wet, so because it's still a little damp here, I'm going to put it back in just for a little bit because I think it will release a little better with a little bit longer. So it's like 10 to 15 minutes is what they said. We're going to go for it a little bit longer. Alright. Wait. I'll start getting my board ready too. Because you are going to want to see how that comes together. It's going to be gorgeous. Like I said, super simple. Not a lot of fuss, but people will ooh and ah, and they will remember what you served, and they will be so excited because people don't do stuff like that all the time, right? You think, I'm going to go to a shower and I'm going to have an egg bake. An egg bake is fine and great and dandy, whatever. Maybe you do a fancy quiche. I did this little search to see what are people serving, and a lot of the recommendations said like a crepe bar or like doing mini quiches. Well, that's fine and dandy, but it creates a lot of work ahead of time. Even though they put the word easy in front of it, I'm like, oh no, this is not easy. This is multi-step, takes planning ahead. You have to do lots of little scoops. It's not like just dump it and go. This is a dump it and go. And if you need a lot, you're just going to do a bunch of pans. It's totally doable. And it won't take very long at all. If you're needing to keep a bunch of it warm, what I would recommend is once this pan is all done and you have it nicely done, just set it to the side. And then end, you can just lay them all in one pan and put it into a warm oven, and it will just kind of reheat and you'll be good. You don't want to tent it with tin foil because then it's not going to get that, it'll get soggy and yucky and you're not going to like that. Okay. All right. So our cream cheese is all whipped up here. It's looking fluffy and delicious. Obviously not as fluffy as what we had before, but it's okay. It's nice and whipped. If you do not have a big mixer, what I recommend here, you could probably just do it with your food processor too if you have one of those. So, or you could be old school and take a whisk and do it by hand, okay? It's what like my great grandma would have done, so we could probably be tough and do that too. No need to do an arm day when you do that kind of stuff, right? All right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and take a little bit of this, about half of it, and I'm going to fold it. So if you've never folded before, what you do is you kind of cut it and scoop it like a spoon. You can kind of see what I'm doing here. We want it to stay nice and fluffy, but we also want it to be well incorporated. So, and I added the fluffy stuff in to the heavy stuff, and that's going to work a little better. It's not going to flatten right away. Now you do want to like scrape on the bottom, make sure you have everything as you're incorporating, but there we go. We got some of it mixed in there. Doesn't have to be perfect at this point, but I'm going to go ahead and do the next batch. And finish incorporating this so it gets lighter, but it has that cream cheese flavor, so it has that richness, but it's nice and fluffy like a whipped cream. I mean, this is incredible. My arm's getting tired holding it up, so it's like double arm day. I love it. Anyway. Here we go. Just keep on scraping and folding. I'm going to scoop this off and see kind of where we're at. I don't want there to be big lumpy, clumpy things. But it's never going to look 100% incorporated, I don't think. So it's okay. All right. I know you can't really see, but I just needed to get at it at this angle for just a bit. Here, I'll back up a little bit. See more what I'm doing. All right. We are looking pretty well mixed now. So you don't have to be afraid of deflating it to get it mixed. You just need to make sure you do that same motion. Cut, scoop, okay? This is looking pretty good here. All right, what I'm gonna do is I have a glass bowl for the charcuterie part. I'm just gonna put them in here and serve. And you can do whatever size you need. In my case, I'm just serving for my family tonight, but we're gonna make it look super cute. This is about 2 cups worth, if you're wondering how much it makes as a finished 2 cups. Yeah. Wipe off my hand and I'll get this out of here so it can start melting. Check this. All right. There should be more done. Woo! Steam. All right. Goodness, Steve, it's like a spa over here today. Let me scoot this over so you can see again. I'm gonna cut underneath here. Just a peek. And this is sliding up much better. It's not like, before it was like curling up on itself as I scooped. I don't know, like it just did not come off very well. And this, you can see, is nice and perfectly done. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and pop this back in the oven. I don't need to release all of them at this point. I just wanted to check and make sure that it looks like it was the right kind of brown. And I'm going to turn on my broiler. And you're going to put this in even while the broiler's warming up. So I'm going to go to the top rack that I had set up and pop it under here. And this is the place where I'm going to have to focus, okay? Because I do not want this to get overdone. I just turned on my light. And this will probably take 2-ish minutes. But we want it to look about as golden brown on that side, on the top side, as what it looks like on the other side. So we're working here. And I'm going to let it go. So while I'm waiting for that, and I'm going to actually slide this to the side because we are going to be doing some other stuff. I'm going to start showing you the board. Okay? I have a cute charcuterie board here. It actually has, if you wanted to use it this way, you could. But in our case, we're actually just going to do it flat. I'm going to set it here. And what I'm thinking would be fun. So if you're not new to charcuterie, first of all, that's how you say it, charcuterie. It's not a shark. Anyway, I'm going to maybe just lay my French toast through here and at an angle. And I'm going to put my things around it. So you could make, stacks, and that's practical. But it doesn't look as cute that way. So that's something I want to do, is just make sure. All right, we're getting there. Not there yet, okay? So some things I'm going to be adding on, but I'm not going to set them on yet because I don't know exactly where I want to place them. This is a little bit of Nutella. Okay. Of course, we have our cream cheese whipped cream. We have, I have some syrup with a little ladle. I also have some strawberries and sauce. So you can do that. I have some blueberries over here that are washed and ready. Those are starting to look pretty good. So those are ready to go. I have a dish or some butter that I can set out. I have some almonds that are sliced. I have a cinnamon toast sprinkle, which is fun. So like cinnamon and sugar with a little something something in there. Super yummy, super fun. All right, I think this is about done. Yes. See, they're getting nice and toasty on that side. Now, what happens when you broil is it gets a little bit dried out on the top. And so what I want to do right now is just scrape all these and flip them over. And that moisture that's still trapped in there is going to reform so that you don't end up with like one side of your French toast that's like perfectly done and the other side's a little dry, like toast. Oh, I was not paying attention. I just kind of mangled that one. So I gotta pay attention. But you do want to use your nice beveled edge and actually cut all the way through. I'm going to show you what happens when you're talking on camera and you don't scrape properly. It doesn't look as cute. So just make sure you take your time as you're going to release them. You're not in a race to get them flipped. You do want to work quickly and do it, soon, but you don't have to fight it and race it and ruin your stuff, okay? And I'm just kind of gently sliding under here and loosening it up before I flip. There we go. The thing with French toast, at least in my instances when I've made French toast, which is super fun and tasty, is that it does look a little bit rusted, right? You're not going to have perfect pieces, and you could cry and be really sad. Oh, it didn't turn out. It looks so terrible, but it's going to taste great. And the thing about it is that those rustic pieces, they look homemade. They look fun. It's good. It means it's not out of a box. It's not out of a can. It's not out of the freezer. It's yummy. It's delicious. It's kind of that same idea of, how you go to the farmer's market and they have vegetables and fruits and they kind of look a little ugly sometimes, but they're pretty in their ugliness, right? Kind of like when I use my stoneware pan, and the more I use it, the more it looks brown and rough and tough, and that's a good thing, right? It's beautiful even in that. So if you are a pottery fan like I am, pottery is always unique. It's never super, you can do a good job doing symmetrical, but It's not going to be perfect, okay? And that's okay. And I can put the uglier one on the bottom. That's okay too. All right, so I have all of my toasts flipped. And what I want to do is go ahead and get them ready to lay on my board. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to bury the one that's kind of ugly. But this is pretty standard. You're going to have some that look a little rougher, some that look a little nicer. It's okay. But I'll put this one, kind of bury it underneath. And I want to nibble it. That's really good. Okay. So, I'll lay some toast out here. They're going to have little pieces that kind of fall off, and so if you have pieces that fall off, that's okay. Kind of tidy it up as you want. I have them laying here now, and they are kind of in a line, and so I might curve it a little bit, make it a little more interesting. There we go. All right. But I don't want to take forever because they're nice and warm, and so I want to hurry them plate up. All right, so what I have this nice big fluffy stuff, right? And I'm going to grab some of my little spoons. So here's a little spoon for that. I'm going to set maybe my Nutella over here and my strawberries there. I can put my butter, just unwrap it and set it there. And I think I have a little spreader. Yep, I do, right here. I just set that in there. These blueberries, so you could do a dish. In my case, I'm actually going to kind of sprinkle them around because I know everybody in my family likes them. And we'll probably just add some more later on, but you can make little piles of things, right? I'm going to do the same thing with my almonds. I'm going to kind of sprinkle them on. I would recommend toasting them if you were going to serve them for a party, and it's really easy to do. You just use I use a Pampered Chef micro cooker. It's those plastic ones, and you can cook frozen vegetables or do ramen or whatever it is in there. But it works well for toasting. You just put it in there and put it in your microwave for 30 seconds and stir it. And keep doing 30-second increments until you start to smell it. Once you smell it, stop. Do not cook it any longer. It will start smelling like burnt hair. It will be bad. But 30 seconds and stir, and just do that until you can smell it, okay? And that's how you toast it. It's so easy. And I'll just do maybe a little bit more blueberry here. Of course, we have our syrup, too. Oh, I might have to redo how it... Scoot that over a bit. Get my syrup here. Put that spoon this way. I'm going to Nutella back there. And set my sprinkle right there. This is such a cute little board. I'm going to actually move you this way so I don't dump it. That'll be what I do. So enjoy the ride here, okay? This is what we have. We have our beautiful spread. We have our butter, the whipped cream cheese, we have the almonds, the strawberries, our French toast, of course. And I got all these pieces ready to go while it was cooking in the oven. So I love that, okay? If you're looking for that thing to do at your next gathering for brunch, this is it, okay? So thanks for joining me at the table. If you haven't already subscribed, be sure to do that. I come live weekly, pretty much every Tuesday. I will be off next week, so it'll be a couple weeks still. But we do things that are practical, that are simple, that are yummy, that you can do for your family, for your friends, and just really enjoy it. So if you're a foodie like me, but you don't want to have all the fuss, this is the place to be, okay? Be sure to save this if this is something you're going to want to do at your next brunch so you can find it later, okay? We'll catch you later. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon.